Hey guys, it's Dr. Wander. Today we're going to talk about thyroid. Thyroid, in my opinion, is one of the most mismanaged, improperly or partially diagnosed health problems that we see across the board. Why? You go in with the classic symptoms: inability to lose weight despite going to the gym and eating clean, energy issues, fatigue, brain fog, hair thinning, hair falling out, skin issues, problems sleeping, such as falling asleep or maybe staying asleep, or both of those. Or you sleep fine, but you wake up, you're still tired. We call that wired and tired. Temperature sensitivity, etc. And your doctor hears those classic thyroid symptoms, and what do? They give you a pill, whether it's Synthroid or levothyroxine or Unithroid or Armour, whatever, some type of thyroid issue. But here's what you have to understand. 97% of you or more actually don't have a thyroid issue. You have an autoimmune issue. And so if you're being treated for a thyroid issue, but you don't have one, you have an autoimmune issue, you have a 3% chance of improving. Those are not good odds. So therefore, it's your immune system that is the problem, not the thyroid. But if your treatment is for the thyroid and you have an immune system problem, you have a very low percentage chance of getting well. Incidentally, that 90 to 97% figure, that's from the Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism. And actually, Yale came out with a recent study, and they said 21 million Americans may be taking a thyroid drug that they don't need. Now, no one has my permission to stop taking their thyroid drug, but part of the reasons are it's a high percentage of you don't have a thyroid issue, you have an autoimmune issue. So with those medications, you have anywhere between a 3 and 10% chance of getting well. I'm assuming you probably want a higher percentage chance than that. And so this is why we have to look at the immune system and other organs and systems in the body to find the solution. Now, who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, my name is Dr. Wander. I've been seeing patients since 1999. I'm an international best-selling author. My thyroid book is called It's Not You, It's Your Thyroid. And I've seen these conditions over and over and over and over again. And I understand what you've been through with your current journey. I also understand it on the other end because there are members in my family who have this disease. So I get it from both ends. I know the clinical end and I know the family end. And I've seen many patients, typically women, but not always, many patients go down the road and get really frustrated because they're not getting to the cause of the problem. Whereas how we do things different in functional medicine, which is how we practice, is we're going to try to find the cause of the problem. It might be it might be any of the above: your liver, your adrenals, toxins, molds, heavy metals, inflammatory markers, other autoimmune diseases. It could be a lot of different things: food sensitivities, food allergies, right? Hormones are a huge one. So we have to dig so we can find out how many of these 59 triggers are bothering your body and bombarding you. And this is what's causing you to not function well as not to feel well. Think about it like your car. If your check engine light or any other light comes on in the car, what do? You go to the mechanic so he can look under the hood and find out what's going wrong. But kind of the analogy is what you're doing is you're showing your TSH being really high, and then they're putting a piece of tape over the light, making it look better, pretend that you don't see it. You know the light's on. Well, that's what's happening with the medication for your high TSH. And this is why 90 to 97% of you are not getting good results, because having a lack of tape over your engine light is not the problem. And another thing you really need to understand is you have a cellular problem. Something, typically hormones, thyroid hormone or other hormones, cannot get into the cell, and they're typically being blocked. And so if you're not treating this at the cellular level, and what you need to realize is cells make up tissues, and tissues make up organs. And so right now you're just getting a synthetic medication or even a natural medication to just cover up, to bully your body to make the TSH look good on paper. And unfortunately, my experience, you don't get a good result like that. Now, let me give you some just quick physiology. So your pituitary gland inside your brain tells your body to produce TSH. And then that tells your thyroid to produce T4. Well, T4 is the inactive form of thyroid hormone. So that needs to be converted into the active form, which is T3. But here's where it gets really interesting. about 85% of the conversion from the inactive T4 to the active T3 has nothing to do with your thyroid. It happens in other organs and organ systems along the way. So if those organs and organ systems are not being addressed, even your TSH may be normal, but it may not be. But the active thyroid hormone, the T3, must get into the cell. And if that's not being addressed, you're missing a big part of the puzzle. And that's why you're not getting good results and why you can't lose weight and why you have no energy, etc. So if you're suffering and you want to get a different perspective, a second or third opinion about what is going on, I'm offering you a strategy session to do that. And so you can click the button probably below me, but somewhere on this page, and you'll be able to click that where we can then get more in depth specifically on what's going on with you. Obviously, everything I've said so far has been general, right? But you're going to want specific answers for you. You're going to be able to ask me questions. I'm going to be able to ask you questions to see if we can take that next step and if it makes sense for you. And if you do want to do that, great. If you don't want to do that, that's great too. My job is just to let you know that there are different ways to treat this and to see if it makes sense for us. So if you're interested to having a conversation about, what we do and a little bit specific more about what you've already done and what's going on, then click the button and we can set up a strategy session. Now the session is $97, okay? However, we're going to take that $97 and if the next step is diagnostic testing, and 99% of the time it's some form of diagnostic testing, so we can look under the hood and see what's going on, then we will put that 97 towards the cost of any of your testing. So really you're getting this strategy session for free. So I'm kind of going to give you advice. If you have no desire to move forward to that next step in terms of diagnostic testing or whatever I say, I probably would not set up the consultation because the $97 won't be going over anything for you. And one of the main tests that we do on almost every single patient, because we're all exposed to them, are toxins. So when you get to the page where you can pick something, you have two choices. You can just do the strategy session, or you can do the strategy session and the toxicity test. And we've already made the cost of that toxicity test. We put the 97 towards that. So it's already worked in there. So some people are going to want to take advantage of that, and we'll kind of go from there. So I look forward to meeting you. And just remember, if you need to get somewhere specific, like you're unhealthy and you want to be healthy, you're going to have to do something that you haven't been doing so far, right? And you're going to want to map. Like if you lived in Maryland and I told you to go to California and you said, well, okay, how do I get there? And I say, well, just start driving west. Eventually you'll probably hit it. Yeah, maybe you'll eventually get there, but you probably want a much more streamlined GPS type of version. So I leave you with that. I hope to meet some of you. Everybody, I just wish you nothing but good luck and good fortune, and God bless.